Hello, everybody. So, wanted to take a moment to talk about one of my favorite months of the year, and that would be um, coming right up here, Marchintosh. So, this guy right here, Marchintosh. So, in March, the month of March, um, let's see, Joe from Joe's Computer Museum and Ron from Ron's Computer Videos organizes, along with a bunch of other people, a lot of Macintosh activities to go into March. So it's coming up, it's rapidly approaching, and I hope everybody uh, has fun participating in it this year. So I did last year. I'm still working on my project for Marchintosh, which is the HyperCard stuff. But anyway, so I hope everybody has a chance to participate in that, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, what are we doing tonight? So I bought an iMac G4, or as I like to say, a G5. That's not a G5; it's a G4. Um, and one of the lamp-shaped ones that's kind of funky. It's a little difficult to take apart. I took it apart a couple of times. Anyway, it ran once when I got it. It was a $20 fine, so I wasn't expecting much. And then it wouldn't boot again. I opened it up and it was very filthy, and there's a video that's coming soon for that. Time lapse, because it took quite a while for me to figure out how to take it apart and clean it up. Anyway, and it appears that probably the power supply needs recapping. So you would turn it on, even after a pram reset. You would turn it on, the fan would spin for about 5 seconds, then shut down. So I had heard that some people had tried using a hair dryer for like 5 minutes to heat up the capacitors and stuff, but I just decided, a capacitor recapping kit's 5 caps. There's one huge one, but I didn't do that. Would only cost me about $12 with shipping and everything, so I just went ahead and bought a recapping kit. And I want to thank Garth Beagle for helping me sort out which caps to get, because I'm rather a novice at that. And he confirmed that I was getting the right things and helped me sort out, the details for it. He also recapped his, and lo and behold, power supply worked, even though his caps measured fine. So, anyway. Oh, so the whole family, the whole Beagle family is watching right now. I don't feel any pressure at all, Garth. None at all. Are the pets also watching? Then I might feel pressure. So anyway, I ordered a recapping kit from DigiKey. I'm going to switch views here. And so I haven't opened this up yet. Oops. I exposed my address. Oh no. So let's get this open. Now, does DigiKey send you atomic fireballs like Console 5 does? I don't think so. Alright. Okay, we'll just fold over the address. Alright, so here's the recapping list. Oop. Okay, more bags, more bubble wrap. There's 2 two of caps. So who do we have in the audience tonight? We have Everything is Broken Garage, soon to expand to Everything is Broken Driveway, I don't know, front yard, other stuff. Anyway, Retro Techie is here, and Garth Beagle, and Justin D. Morgan is also here. And that's it, Justin. There's a lot of chatter going on. Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack is here. Looks like I got everybody. So, thank you for joining. Oh, Adam's here. Hello, nerds. Hello, Adam. Okay. So let's check the order. So I should have, get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Should have two caps that are 3,300. I believe that's these. Nope. Okay. 16 volt 3,300. 16 volt 3,300. Okay. And I'm going to double check my list that I originally had. Yeah, 16 volt 3,300. And we should have 680 16 volt. $680 16 volt. And 220, excuse me, 25 volt. 220, 25 volt. Okay. Old caps. We have, I can't read that, a 3,300 16 volt. There's two of those. We have a 680 16 volt and two 220 25 volts. All right. They appear to be the same. So I line these up here. The new and old, the new and the old. Oops, knocked them over. So the replacements are a little bit skinnier on some of these. But I guess that's because of better materials. I don't know. Anyway, so those are smaller, but they should be the same. These are 105 volt, not 105 volt, 105C for temp. Very tiny. Anyway, I can't read the thing. So, alright. Should be pretty straightforward. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Who else do we have? Adam. Joe. Hey, Joe. Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. So I plugged Marcintosh. So we ought to start talking about that. It's coming up. All right. Oh, hey, 1-Bit Fever Dreams. So here's the lamp thing is a hemisphere. So of course this fits near the top underneath the fan, and fits in. You can't see that. Kind of fits in like this. So it's divided in half between the two halves of the dome. Let's see. I have to belly up here to the bench, table, desk, really, if you want to have it. So this is the cap I didn't replace, and that was on Garth's advice because it most likely doesn't need to be replaced. Hopefully transistors are fine on it. Let's get the old ones out of here. What retro computer should you work on tomorrow? All of them. You should work on all of the broken things. I mean, that's what we're here for. All right, so they just want to roll around. All right, this board, I believe, only takes, has one cap on it that I need to do. And it is C2029, I think. I got to get my magnification. I can't see a thing. Yes, C29. And C29 is a 220 25 volt. And that's one of these. And of course they have polarity, so you have to pay attention to the positive and negative lead. The negative has a band on it right there. The positive lead is longer. And looking at this board, it should go in like that. Okay. Now on this board, we've got the rest of them. And we have C206, which is a 220, so it's the same as the other one. And the plus goes this way. Okay. And we have a couple of them that are kind of a tight fit. And I could not get one of these screws out. Excuse me while I get a screwdriver, get the other one out. And I hope that I can get these wrangled in there without having to spend an hour trying to get this thing off. because the other screw just does not want to come out. Naboo sounds like, reminds me of Yahoo. I don't know why. Because it's 2 syllables. Naboo. Yahoo. This feels like it should be said that way. So, worst case, I'll just bend this sucker up. So that it's out of the way. Because it doesn't really want to budge. I can turn it. And hopefully I can get the cap in that way. Alright, oh, it rolled over there. Okay. So we got our negative lead. Can anybody see what I am doing? Let me turn this around. Be a little more obvious. I think I need to move this. That didn't work very well, did it? Yeah, we'll just leave it this way. So here, I'll move my camera a little bit. Okay. So you can see I was a little concerned about making sure I knew where the negative and the positive was, so I actually wrote on the board. So our negative goes on this side. Piece of cake. I'll be able to turn that back now. Maybe. Oh, jeez. There we go. Oh no, I think I broke a nail. You know, if you're going to put a heat sink on top of the caps, the least you could do is make it so that you can get the damn thing off. So, give me room to work. Sorry, I keep putting that up where you can't see what I'm doing. Just trying to get this down. Is anyone else retentive about making sure everything is evenly in the board? Because I sure am. Like, it annoys me if things aren't vertical or exactly straight or whatever. I know it doesn't make a damn bit of difference, but it annoys me when things aren't lined up. Okay, good enough. Alright, so let's get the other one in here. So that was C04, so double check. 3300. Yep. Sorry. Guess I need to move the workbench over. Move the camera over. Something like that. Alright. Negative. Positive. Okay, so those two should be good. Got one left. And it sits right tightly in here. And that's the negative. Make sure we got it lined up. That one goes. Right there. Okay. All the caps are in the right places. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Move the frame with your image to the yeah, you're right. Let me get that. I'm in studio mode, so I have to fiddle around with stuff. There. I think that'll work better. Yeah, that's better. I don't need to be as big as I am either. There. Nobody cares that I'm using a cheap soldering iron. See what else is going on. Somebody was a charlatan. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to keep up with the chat here. Yeah, right. Retro Tech, you know, I've seen your work and it's beautiful. I'm glad that you take the time to straighten up all your caps. Recap all the things, yes. Ooh, Laserdisc player. The Bob Ross of vintage computer repair. Tiny little caps. I never actually watched Bob Ross do anything. Maybe I saw a short, clip or something. I don't know. Anyway. So I guess I don't need these things. We'll just leave them here. All right. Now, since I'm so blind and can't see anything, I'm going to have to stick my face in here. So I apologize for my face being blocking stuff probably. Just a touch of solder. You just need to paint a little solder or flux. Just a little dab will do you. I don't know. Did Bob Ross talk like he was talking about Brill, putting on Brill cream or anything? There's some surface mount stuff here, so of course I gotta be careful not to screw that up while I'm doing this. Okay, that looks okay. That one also looks acceptable. Probably should have just gone ahead and put the flux on all of them. Beep. So I've probably got 2 years supply of flux at the rate I'm going. Although I am kind of using this up. I mean, still got like a third of it left. I've got another tube. And of course, I was not smart like Justin D. Morgan. When I bought this, I didn't see the little note that said, for $2 you can get a kit that has plungers. So I forgot to buy plungers. And then the day after I ordered, he mentioned, "Oh yeah, you gotta order plungers." And I'm like, "Oh, darn! I just assumed they came with it." but it makes sense. You wouldn't need plungers with every order, right? Because you could just reuse them. So it'd be interesting to hear what people are thinking about doing for Marcintosh this year. You know, last year there was quite a bit of stuff going on. I know some people are probably saving it for surprises, but other than you know, more hypercard stuff, you know, if I got a computer, I need, excuse me, if I've got another system to work on or something, obviously I'll do that in March, but I would do that anyway. So it's not really something special I'd be doing for Marcintosh. I need more flux. I almost put my finger on the part that is hot. Don't do that. Do not follow the you know, the stock photography version of the person using a soldering iron. That's wrong. Okay, I think I got that. Okay, that is not a cold solder joint. Good. Yeah, a couple of these look like I need to flow them a little better. I haven't perfected the art of talking a lot while I'm doing this kind of thing at the same time. Yeah, exhale. Yeah, I really should be exhaling. What I really should do is I need to get an extractor. Or at least set up well, I do have a fan back here. I don't know why I don't have it running. Probably because of the noise. But yeah, I do look like I'm bogarting a joint, don't I? Okay. And look how crooked that is. Alright, that's going to drive me nuts. Maybe I can push that in a little. I didn't really pay much attention to it. Careful. Hot things melt plastic. I can't really get to the other one, so it's going to have to just be good enough. Electrically, it's sound. Alright. So the caps are in. It's not as pretty as the original, but I don't really care either. So, Jeremy, you think that you have a Marcintosh project in the works? Good. one's a little long. Okay. Yeah, everything looks hunky-dory. Let's get this baby on. Just love the feel of melted flux. Nice and tacky. I guess that's why it's called tacky flux, because it's tacky. I didn't think it was a judgment about the flux. You know, like sarcastic flux or... No, come on, Eric. There we go. That one looks good. That's only going to take me 20 minutes to put it together so I can try it. Now the question is, do I assemble the entire thing? I might as well. I don't really want to run the CPU without the thermal pipe work, you know, set up and all that. Hey, K-Mac. I need to have a cheat sheet for first names because I'm having a lot of trouble remembering first names of people. So, all right. So this has plastic shields that go on the bottom of it. Oh, I need to get this in. Turn off that. So I might as well put the screw back into the heat shield where it goes. Yeah, it's pretty well lined up. One of the things that's really starting to bother me, and I'm having to take Advil every day for it right now, is my arthritis is really starting to act up, and it's right through here mostly. So I'm trying to grip a hold of things so that I can hold them tight to screw and stuff like that is a bit of a challenge right now. So. But, you know, the alternative to getting old is not getting old. So I'd rather get old. Since I can't run it in reverse. Okay. We don't need this right now. Will, thank you. Okay, I believe this, well, I suppose I better get the shields on, base shields on it first. And of course I didn't get all the dust off of these. I mean, this was kind of an innovative design, sort of like like the G4 Cube and all that. But man, did they like building oddball shaped stuff that was hard to cool. Okay, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong shield, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to have to push those things in. So I guess I am going to need this little thing. So my my wife's father, my father-in-law, had he recently passed away, but before that we had to move him out of his house and into an Alzheimer's unit, and the man never threw anything away, not a single thing. I think he had about 20 of these spread throughout the house because he, like either forgot he had them or he just wanted one anywhere he was at so he could just reach over and grab a tool. But he also had check registers from the 1950s that we found. He was a tool and die man originally before he got into engineering. He still had tool and die stuff from the 50s and the 60s. He had the one of the first tools he made was a drill press with multiple different diameter pulleys on it for different speeds. He still had that, which was fine, except he didn't use it. But the guy was a pack rat, and half of his tools are sitting in my garage, taking up all the space in my garage right now. I can't get to my workbench or anything. But so he had a whole bunch of these. So now I've got like 4 or 5 pairs of them. And I don't know where they're at, so I guess I'm not much different than he is when you really get down to it. You only need a few screwdrivers, right? How many screwdrivers do people have? They have a lot of screwdrivers. So I guess I'm not really criticizing him. He had a long life, and it had a lot of time to accumulate a lot of tools. So, okay. So that's on. Gonna move some things out of the way. Gonna unplug the soldering iron because we're done with that. We don't need any of this stuff. I tell you what, if I put this back together and it's still not working, it'll probably just stay together. I don't know what I'm going to do with it if it doesn't work. I think Garth had to hit the reset on it about a dozen times before it worked consistently on his. And even if it does work, I don't know if I'm going to keep it. It's not really a machine that I need. So if it is working, I'll probably bring it to VCF, get rid of it there. I certainly don't have room for it. But for $20, I really couldn't turn it down. Okay, those are disposed of. Hey, Masked Rebel. So my post to Reddit was seen. Well, welcome. I've been trying to make sure that I hit multiple social media because, there's quite a few. I haven't been doing Facebook. Honestly, I don't go to Facebook very much. It's more of a, like family use it kind of a thing. But that's great that, somebody from Reddit came. Welcome. And there it is. My improvised cover for my flux. So, this is my, if you look at the service manual for this computer, it has this elaborate shaped foam block that you use to support the computer while you're working on it. And of course I don't have that, but I do have this packing foam. Thanks, Garth. This came with something that you sent me, I believe. And it makes a great stand for working on this thing. So just put that there so I can put the monitor face down on here. Move my keyboard, put this on here, and that way the dome can sit there. So let's get these out of the way. Pardon the old man noises. You see, nice and comfy. Sits right there. Now I gotta move the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. Sorry about the vomit cam. So this was kind of a bear. This lead has to go all the way down to the base. It's for the video, and when I took the fan assembly off, the wires that go up through the neck are all arrayed, you know, in a spoke pattern, and I didn't pay much attention to the pattern when I did it, and tried to use video to figure out where it went and everything, and I kept making this or this too short, no matter how I arranged it. So I finally I ended up sticking a couple of things off the same radius and leaving one of the other ones off because I got sick and tired of taking it apart and putting it back together and then finding out something was too short. So the other problem I ran into, and I'll show you in a minute here, is the drive cable was long enough that it kind of accordioned a little bit when it went in, but it was getting pinched by the edge of the case and damaging the cable. So when I took it apart, somebody had been in here. There's screws missing, screws substituted. It's kind of a mess. And it didn't really matter exactly which screw went where because there were cases where he used the incorrect screw thread. So I ended up going through my tin can of my dad's old screws and stuff and finding a couple of replacements that would work. So anyway, so let's get this thing back together. So first, I believe I've got to get the power supply back in there. And there's a shield for 1/2. Oh yeah, there's a shield missing too. So whoever was in here, and I think they upgraded the drive, didn't pay very much attention to what they were doing. I think they were just happy to get it back together. So Joe's got another brilliant plan. Is it another plan to take over the world, Joe? What are we doing tonight, Joe? The same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world. Snarf. Okay. You know, I took this apart so many times. I think I remember exactly how to get it back together again. I guess we'll find out. I need Torx. Oh, this stream is endorsed by my eldest daughter, who always lends me her iFixit kit. Because I don't have one of my own with all the parts I need. So I'm like, can I borrow your iFixit? She just leaves it with me now. So eventually she'll get it back. You know, I'm kind of hoping maybe she'll buy me one for Christmas or something, since I keep borrowing it. You know, I did have the screw map for this thing. And of course, I don't. Okay, these are bottom screws. They don't go in here. Those are the longer ones. Alright, I think I got it sorted out. So which size are you? You are probably I don't know. I can't remember what size Torx you are. You're not that big. Maybe you're this one. Yeah, you are a T10. Go figure, huh? Almost everything is a T10, right? Okay, so I put this on here, this tape on here to keep the spring assembly from coming apart because I almost lost one of the springs. It kind of flew off on me. So now which side do you go on? Or is this you? No. I think this is you. Yes. Okay. So the short one goes on the media drive door, the DVD CD-ROM drive door side. I need to make sure that stays out of the way. So this goes in here. It gets held on by this shield. Which goes in that spot there. Don't move. Let me get the tape off here so it's out of the way. And try not to lose the springs. They did not make this machine service friendly. Not at all. And I'm sure there's probably tricks that make this easier, but oh my god, really? I know, tweezers, duh. Where did I put my tweezers? Come Every time I reach in this bag, I'm worried I'm going to grab the X-Acto knife or something like that with the tip of my finger. I really shouldn't have them in this bag. But of course I do. That's not what I'm looking for. Really? Well, there's the X-Acto knife. At least I didn't grab it from the wrong end. There's the tweezers. I need to hold it this way. Probably should have got the straight tweezers out. Yeah, this will work. It's enough to hold it in place while I put the longer screws in. World's longest screws. Okay. Well, I find it interesting that when you put the bottom 4 screws on the case, you actually have a torque rating. You're supposed to do 17 pounds. I don't know why they don't measure it in newtons. Anyway, and of course I don't have a torque wrench, so they just say make it tight, but not too tight. When I was in high school, not being very mechanically inclined, I had a Volkswagen Beetle, and I stopped in at a company called Import Auto to buy some parts or something for something, and the guy says, "Was that your Volkswagen that you just pulled in?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "You're about to lose your crankshaft. I guess a small end bearing had come out of one of the cranks, and it was just rattling around in there." And he says, you need to get that fixed." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, I'm going to ask my dad, "What's a crankshaft?" Not really, but anyway. So I had to, I didn't know what a torque wrench was. I got the Chilton's manual for repairing that Volkswagen. I took the engine off, stripped down the engine, sent the block to get it magnafluxed. Fortunately, the guy that magnafluxed the block for me sent me back a big Ziploc bag that had the parts to the distributor in it because I had left them in the block. You know, things like that. I learned a lot working on that car. Mostly what I learned is that I do not want to work on cars. I hate working on cars. I only did it because, you know, when you don't have the money to pay somebody for it, you do it yourself, right? Anyway, I learned a lot about it. And one of the things I learned was what a torque wrench does. And I ended up rebuilding the thing. And I was afraid to start it. And my dad actually had to come out and crank it for me because I was afraid I was going to break it by trying to crank it. It just didn't have fuel up into it and stuff like that. And it worked. There's some other stories about it, but it also leaked oil like a sieve. Volkswagen Beetles don't have a gasket between the engine halves. You use a gasket forming material and you run a bead of it along the two engine halves to make a gasket, and they caution you not to use too much and avoid the oil ways, because through the block there are ways for oil to get around. So of course I didn't use enough because I didn't have somebody with experience there to help me. I did the entire engine rebuild myself. Didn't have any friends that worked on cars or anything because those were the guys that didn't have nerd friends. Anyway, long story short, I did get it working. I didn't ever had to change the oil in the thing because it leaked enough oil that I never had to change it. And I'm not getting this screw in here right. That's the problem with working on it at this angle. You can't really see. God bless it. See what you're doing. And you can't really feel your way with something like this. At least I can't. There, I got it, I think. I'm going to use the turn it backwards trick. I know it's not going into plastic, but I think it'll help. There we go. Why did they put such a long frickin' screw on this thing? Oh, hi, Steve. Thanks, John. We'll know in I don't know, about half an hour or so whether it boots or not. So I give myself 50-50 chance that it's gonna work. How about, oh crap, guess what I forgot to do? Connect the power supply. It's not going to work that way. I probably should have the service manual up so I could see the steps for doing this. But what's the fun in that? It's a freaky design anyway. Boy, I've got a long video I put together, actually a series of videos that I sped up 20 times for the disassembly, cleaning, reassembly, disassembly again, cleaning, reassembly a third time, because I was having such trouble with this thing. So I've got the raw video. I need to stick it together and edit it, and then I'll do a commentary over the top of it. But some of you have seen pictures of the inside of this thing. I'm surprised there weren't rats nesting in it. It was that bad. They weren't dust bunny. They were bunnies. They were dust wolverines, I guess. More aggressive dust bunnies. I don't know. Steve, are bunnies very dusty? I get the impression that they're actually very clean animals. I mean, they leave gumdrops all over the place, but I'm sure that's because of the high fiber diet. Oh, I don't want to complain, but my hand hurts. Ouch. It's a good thing using a keyboard doesn't really hurt that much for me. Is it fixed yet? No, Garth, it's not even back together yet. Hopefully the power supply is fixed. And yes, I'm going to assemble the entire thing and then try it, because that's how I do things. I reassemble and then I test. And really that's because if it doesn't work, I'm done. I'm just going to set it aside. And I'm tired of having all the parts sitting around all over the place. So, alright. So now the power supply is connected like it should be. That cable goes all the way up there. All right. Okay. Justin D. Morgan, I just had my Adrian Black moment from a lot of broken for parts, not working cards I received today. Ooh. That sounds like a chore. All right. Cables. Where do the cables go? Next part is the drive assembly. Boy. So I will, if this does work, I am going to have it apart again. Let me get this back a little bit, because I want to replace the spinning drive with an SSD, but I'm not going to invest in getting one right now until I know this thing works. Oh, this was the cable that was too long, so it was a good 2.5, 3 inches longer, and it ended up pinching the edge every time you closed the case. So I don't even think, Garth suspects it's not the original cable. Would Apple have left so much slack on there? I don't think so. So, anyway. So this goes this way. And I believe that goes there, and this goes here. And I got tired of this being in the way, so I taped it down so that it would be over there. Okay, and then this is a bit of a tight fit. It's a little easier if you put it this way. Because it just barely fits in here. I don't know what genius at Apple decided to make it such a close tolerance. Would it have hurt them to add a couple of millimeters to the diameter of the damn thing? Or maybe even a little bit more than a couple of millimeters? I mean, really. You kind of have to shove it up like that. Oh, I know what's in the way. Damn speaker wire. So are you supposed to go around it or under it? We're going to put you under. There we go. Okay, all the other bits are hanging out. And this is where the guy was a little bit mixed up with his screws. So because he did not use the original screws for this part. It's a hodgepodge of nearly correct screws. And it's a little touchy about which one you put in where. Like I thought, that one's not tight. Where's my tweezers? Pour epoxy, it'll hold it together. Yeah. Yeah, I could just dip the screws in epoxy and put them in there. They'll hold, right? I could also get out one of my father-in-law's tap kits and just retap the screws, right? Put sleeves in there and put... Well, I'm not doing that. I've never actually done that. And I don't really want to have to do it for a computer. Okay, so that screw's holding there, so we're good on that one. That's another one that's not tight. Yeah, I'd really like to know whether it was the original owner that screwed this up doing an upgrade, or if an Apple service technician did it. I doubt it was an Apple service technician. Might have been a certified Apple service technician, but anyway, it is what it is. I think that was the screw that was not in. Or it could have just been there was, yeah, this is the right one. Okay. That screw was left out. Okay, so we still have the cables hanging out, so we're still good. This is where the thermal channel goes up to the fan, I guess, or the entire case basically. So you have to have thermal paste on that for the base to go on, which means you use thermal paste almost every time that you open it up. So that's annoying. Which is another reason why, if it doesn't work, I'm not probably going to open it back up again. Alright, so we're ready for the base. So here's the nice cleaned up board, and I need thermal paste. As soon as I find it. Should have had it out before I started. But of course I don't. That's super glue. That's not going to work. I know it's in here somewhere. Great, where did I put the thermal paste? I don't know. Ah, there it is. It was right where I left it. What's going on in the chat? Yeah. I don't think this was the original cable for this. Okay. Oh. Thermal paste. I'm going to break with convention and actually show how much thermal paste I'm putting on this thing. Because I don't really care what people's opinions are on it. I'll either put too much. I probably won't put too little. I think I tend to put it on a little heavy. And what did I do with the card for spreading it around? It actually comes with a little card for spreading it around. Here it is. Oh. So you have this little card. Of course, it's meant for doing a CPU, but so that is how much paste I put on there. It probably is too much. I don't really care. That's how much I'm putting on. With this, I don't think it really is all that hypercritical that if you put too much on, it's going to cause any problems. It's not like it's the CPU. So, okay, this ground has to go on. Here's another place where the screw he had actually didn't hold it down very well, so I had to go find a screw. And this is where I usually run my finger or knuckle into the thermal paste and mess it up. Okay, that's not going anywhere. What's going on in the chat? It's the most ridiculous computer I think I've ever bought. Someone removed all the guts of the Bell & Howell Apple II and framed them as a non-working computer, or did they do one of those wall frame hanging things where you can still use the computer? Because that's kind of cool, I guess. And I think I might have goofed up here. Where is the power cable? Ah, crap. I betcha I left it folded up above the thing. Damn it. Guess who's going to have to take the drive out again? Because I'm missing a cable. probably one of the reasons why the drive was so hard to get in. Don't lose the screw. Ah, crap. I probably should not have started this stream so late, because now I'm starting to get tired and I'm dropping screws. Shit. Pardon my French. Merde. Scheisse. And of course it would land on the floor. Maybe. Well, I can always go get the can and find another screw. Oh. I'm sure this is how it happened to the guy who took it apart, right? Or did I lose it in here? Nope, I heard it hit something and then bounce off. Ah, darn it. Oh. The can. Of course, the question is, can I find the right size screw? I got lucky last time. Probably be easier to find the one I dropped. I'll take another look. Nope. Sometimes I ask myself why I live stream this kind of stuff. I seem to make more mistakes when I'm live streaming. Nope. Screw can ASMR. That's definitely not the right thread. I bet you this one's too long. Yeah, it's not the right thread anyway. Come on, Dad, don't fail me now. Honestly, I don't even know if I found that screw in this can or not. May have been somewhere else in the garage. I can actually get to part of the garage. Mostly where my tools are. I'm probably going to have to go search the garage for a screw. Alright. I will be right back. If anybody is still watching when I come back, that's great. If not, I completely understand if you don't want to sit here just watching nothing. So I'm going to do the be right back thing. Well, I found something that'll work. I'm not 100% happy with it, but it's good enough for government work. I do work for the government, so. I should probably leave a note in this thing apologizing to whomever opens it up the next time, telling them I'm really, really sorry. But not only did the person before me lose parts, but I also lost parts. So at least then they'll have a name they can curse, right? Man. I guess the foam serves another purpose too, of catching screws, even if it didn't catch that one. There he is. I probably could have reached it if I'd looked hard enough. Oh well. Okay, let's check again and make sure I didn't bury the cable. Yeah, of course. What did I do? I buried the cable. At least I'm smart enough to check, right? Okay. There. Sorry, this isn't very exciting, is it? So much for half an hour to put it back together, huh? Ow. Alright. No, this should stay this way. Goofiest design ever. Gee, is grounding this really that important? Yes, I know it is. And this screw is not going to tighten. Wait a minute. Maybe. Nope. Not tight enough. Stubby screwdriver. I believe it's either a Craftsman or a cheap knockoff of one. Nope. Well, that's not going to hold. That's got to be too big. Yep. Wouldn't you know, the one screw that I had that actually would hold that was one of a kind. Well, I might just have to end this stream here. Until I can find a screw that will work. Or find the one I dropped. Because I am not finding anything that'll work. I mean, that would strip the heck out of it. Nope. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to call it. I'll have to either go through yet. This is the box of screws I got from a friend. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to get it back together enough to do this. I'm going to end it here because I got to work in the morning. And I guess I'll just have to tackle it tomorrow night. So, thanks everybody who showed up. Please make sure that you watch for Marcintosh content coming up here in March. Because that's how I met so many of the people that we all love and watch on YouTube and blog and all the other stuff. And I mean, that's how I met most of the people that are in this chat, actually. So it's a great great month to be doing Macintosh stuff. And I believe last year Ron said that Intel-based Macs are now vintage, so they're also included in Marcintosh. So anyway, yeah, sorry Apple's Anonymous. I have a screw loose, and I dropped it, and I can't find a replacement. So I'm gonna have to stop here until I can find the screw I dropped, or find a replacement. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, it can't be very far, but it's far enough. I couldn't find it, and the my father's Borkum Riff can of screws failed me this time. Hey, thanks a lot for the donations towards the microscope. Thank you. As you guys know, I'm optically challenged, and this is what I've been using, and these work great, but you have to get really close to it. And as you saw, I suck up the fumes from soldering, so microscope would be great. So thank you guys. Yeah, magnetic sweeper. I'll get a magnet. I've got a bunch of rare earth magnets I'll use to find it. If it were a Lego, I would step on it. Yes. So I'm sure I'll find it, and if I don't, then there's always tomorrow night. I'll figure something out. So there's other boxes of screws and stuff I can go through. I haven't even looked in the toolbox that we have in the apartment. So yeah, Harbor Freight. I'm sure we've got a box of assorted screws in the camper, because that's where you usually need that kind of stuff. And I could go out there and look. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So thanks a lot for coming out. I will see you guys next time. Bye.